Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a bit. This is my very late September update. Today is Sunday, October 9th. Life's just been crazy once again, so no other reason. But thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I'm once again behind in replying to your messages. I will hopefully get to that today, but thank you all for all of your comments and questions on my channel. I have read them all, I just haven't had the chance to reply, but I will get to that today. Shock of shocks, I have no finishes for September. I do have 2 FFOs that I will share with you. But first, I just want to give a big thank you to my friend Tracy D, who sent me this beautiful scissor fob that she made and sent to me. Isn't that gorgeous? See if I can get it without the glare. I had lent Tracy a pattern that is out of print and very difficult to find, and she sent me this as a thank you. So thank you, Tracy. I love it, and it's perfect. Okay, so my FFOs. I have 2. I'm not overly thrilled with my finishing of them, so I'll probably be redoing them, but I will show you what I have up to this point, and when I redo them, I will show them again probably. My first one is Rotted But Not Forgotten by Plum Street Samplers, and I can't remember which Halloween just cross stitch issue this is in, but it's in one of them. So there is that, and this is in my Halloween display, and I will insert that video here if I remember, hopefully. Okay, so if you were looking closely, you may have seen that under the tree, kind of as a grave marker. I had a lot of fun putting that display together this year. The funny thing is, not really funny, kind of frustrating, I have some finished cross stitches that I have not been able to find, and I'm afraid that they got misplaced in the move. I was missing a box when my shipment arrived, and I couldn't figure out what was in the box because they just put sometimes general craft items as the explanation of what's in the box. And now I'm thinking it was some of my finished cross stitches, but I don't know, it could be anywhere in this house. Fingers crossed that it's not in that box that has gone missing, but oh. Okay, my next FFO is one that you have seen before many times. It is one of my all-time favorite pieces that I've stitched. It's for my daughter, and it's called Save the Bees. Again, I'm not entirely happy with my finishing of it, and I will be redoing it. And here we are. Try to keep the glare off of it, do it this direction. I'm just not happy with how I centered it, in both directions. My foam core was acting really strangely on me this time. I've never had this happen. It was kind of buckling, and I don't know if that's why I just couldn't get it straight, or who knows. But I'm going to redo it. This is the frame that my daughter selected. Had I been choosing the frame, I would have selected a darker frame, but this is the one she wanted, so here we are. Again, I loved stitching this piece. Thank you again, Emily C., for offering this as a giveaway. I love it. And thank you, Lila Studio, for creating this chart. I will someday be stitching that for myself. But as soon as I get it reframed, I will be giving that to my daughter. Okay, I'll just share with you a finish that I had a few years back. You know, I always have a pin keep by my stitching stuff every month, and this month's pin keep is a freebie from Primitive Betty's. It's called Boo Jack, and just ignore all the needles and pins. But it was a cute little chart to stitch, and it stitched up rather quickly. And I think that I finished that 2 or 3 years ago. But that is my pin keep that I'm using this month. All right, on to my works in progress. I have actually quite a few this month, but like I said, no finishes. My first one is one that I started during Stitch Mania. It's called Tidings. It is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, Halloween 2013. And here's my progress. It's close to being finished, but not quite. So it will have to go into my Halloween decor next year. It's been a fun stitch. I am stitching this on 36 count light sand, 1/2 with the call for threads. So that's whip number 1. Whip number 2 is a chart that I showed you in my haul last month, or last video, and one that I wanted for a long time and finally just got, called Thomas. Oh, the glare, I'm sorry, the glare is crazy today. And that's from Not Forgotten Farm, 2007. I am stitching this one with the Call for DMC on 11 count Aida, which I have not stitched on 11 count Aida in many, many years. But it's a nice break from the eye strain of 36 and 40 count linen. And it's been rather a quick stitch. I've really enjoyed picking him up at night and stitching on him. So here's my progress on Thomas. And one of the most appealing things about this design for me is that it reminds me of this huge platter that my mother would use every year at Thanksgiving that had this giant turkey on it. It was just beautiful. So I wanted to make it on the 11 count because I wanted it to be a large design, so it would be a prominent piece for my Thanksgiving display. So that's Thomas. My next one is, I didn't get to work on I didn't work on this as much as I wanted to this month. I don't know why, just time. It's called One More Stitch. And this is as far as I've gotten on this. This is the Little House Needleworks. And if you recall from a previous video, this was gifted to me by Flag Day Girl on Instagram. So I love it. I just haven't had the time to pick it up as much as I wanted to. My next whip this month, if you recall, I spoke about doing my Christmas ornaments. This is from Mill Hill, 'Tis the Season, and I'm working on the Santa one that my ex-husband had started but not completed. And as I was working on it, I kind of remembered why he didn't complete it. Let me just show you where I've gotten to, and I'll show you both so you can see. This is the one that I've worked on. I still have to do this one. So I worked on Santa's beard, and let me try to get a close-up of this. It's completely beaded. I used, Mill Hill beads, just the white, 00479. And, well, first what you do is on the beard, you fill it in with cross stitches and specialty stitch Smyrna crosses, and then you put the beads on top of it. And as you can see absolutely no cross stitches in that beard after you fill it in. So on the second one, I think I'm going to skip that step. But these were originally charted for, I think it's, let's see what it calls for. It's I want to tell you the right thing, what fabric. It's stitched on 7 count. Well, clearly this is not 7 count. This is like, it looks to be like a 32 or 36 count linen. So the call for treasures are larger than what would fit on this. And the original treasure, sorry, I keep dropping things. The original treasure that is supposed to go in his beard, well, it was the white Mill Hill beads, as well as a treasure called, a crystal treasure called, use your words with that, number 13001, and I'll see if I can show you one of those. They're rather large in comparison to the beads. So when I tried to put that into the space, they were supposed to go on top of the Smyrna crosses. But because we're stitching it on a 36 count versus a 7 count, it wouldn't fit. So what I did instead was I made little, what are they called? A bead knot using the petite glass beads 40161, which are like the really translucent ones, similar to the crystal bead. So we are chock full of beads here, but I love the effect that it has. It has a lot of texture. So it actually went surprisingly fast. The beading actually went faster than the stitching. I am waiting on some fibers to finish this, and then I will work on the second one. So that is my next work in progress. What else did my last video, I dyed some floss, as you may remember, using RIT dye, and it was so that I could start stitching Antique Tin Tiles by Rosewood Manor. Okay, and I had a lot of questions on that video of why didn't I rinse? Was I worried about dye transfer? My short answer to that, I didn't rinse because I'm lazy. And I didn't have any intention of washing this when it's completed. But after I had all those questions, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to test wash some and see what happens, see if it changes. And I will show you the difference, which I will say not a lot came out. I heat set the floss, then I washed it, and then I heat set it again. So I'll show you the original floss color is 926, which is this. Okay, and then I will show you the washed and the unwashed. And honestly, okay, this one right here is the unwashed, this is the washed. And this is probably not going to show. I'll try to take a photo to show you, to give you a better indication of they're not that different. It's a little bit difficult to tell because each one is different, and no matter what, whether you, just by the nature of hand dyeing it, you're not going to get the same results twice, no matter what. But I will show you, I did get started on this. I'm stitching this on, it's a hand-dyed fiber, and I can't remember what it's called, even though she's written it here. It's a 40 count, and this is the result. I love it. I hope that you can see all the rusty looking spots. And it was a joy to stitch with, and I can't wait to continue on with this. It's giving the effect that I wanted, so I think that's a win. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, I have all kinds of stuff piled around me. What did I work on next? I worked on DeForest to Grow. Another one of my very favorite patterns. I managed to make it all the way to the other side. So I'll hold it back here. This is how wide it's going to be. The last time you saw this, I think that I was working, I had not completed this tree. So this time around, I completed all of this area. And this is the very edge. Again, I love this piece. I love stitching on this piece. I hate it when I have to put it down because each little tree, each little bird or animal is a mini finish to me. I haven't stitched the saying in the middle because I'm not sure that I'm going to stitch the one as it's charted. I am considering my options on that. So that will probably be the very last thing I stitch. But I'm happy with the progress that I've made so far. Speaking of DeForest grew, and I apologize, I cannot remember who purchased the pattern, and when they looked at the amount of floss that it requires, was quite shocked. And it does, it's something like 100 and some different colors. So I thought I would share with you how I handle having that many flosses for a project. I'll show you 3 different things that I do. The first one, I purchased these boxes from Joann's, and I label what project the floss belongs to. I just use chalkboard paint and paint labels, and then I have a chalk pen that I write on there. But this is what I do. This is my little space keeper. So when I pull the bag out, I know exactly where it goes back in. But what I do is I label. Okay, let me back up. I used to bobbinate all my floss. I'm trying to get away from that. Number 1, it takes too much time. And number 2, then you have to deal with all the kinks that are in the floss from the bobbin. So I am going strictly to floss away bags or snack bags. The other thing that I do, if you can see here, I stick a little label on and I write the symbol. And I keep them in numeric order. Now, for DeForest grew, each page gives a list of the floss that you use on that page only. So all these flosses are used on the correct page that I'm working on. This box holds the other flosses that will be in the other pages. So when I get to a new page, I just switch them around. I just pull out what I don't need from this box, lay it aside, add in what I need from this box, put it into this box, and then I catalog the ones that I'm not using for that page. I hope that makes sense. The other reason I'm liking floss away bags rather than bobbinating, what I do is I have a needle in each one of these bags. Some people might not like that. I don't keep it, sorry. Okay. I don't keep the needle, if there's a bobbin in here, I don't put the needle in the floss in the bobbin. I just keep it threaded, and typically either I'll put it just to the front, most of the times I'll put it to the back. That way, I'm not having to stop and rethread a needle every time that I switch colors. I just pull out the needle, it has the remaining thread in that I haven't used, and I just start stitching right away. So I think between not bobbinating and having a threaded needle at the ready are time-saving tips for me. I would rather be stitching than bobbinating. I'd rather be stitching than worrying about threading a needle. Do I have to buy a lot of needles? Yes. But that's, to me, a small price to pay if it saves me time. And I like to buy needles in bulk. I usually buy them from Anita'sLittleStitching.com, I think it is. Anita's Little Stitching. And my needle choice, there are 3 different ones that I like to use. I like John James, Petite, Bowen, and Mary Arden, Petite. And I know she sells John James and Mary Arden in bulk. I can't remember if she sells Bowen in bulk. But I usually just buy in bulk and I have them on hand. And when I start a new project, I pull from that stash. The other option that I use on large projects is this. And this box houses my floss for a real snow job, Heaven and Earth design. And I picked this box up at Hobby Lobby at Christmas time. They have just the basic brown box in a variety of sizes. And I do basically the same thing. I have 3 rows. I have them, I didn't put the symbol on these yet, but when for my Haid, I do use, I just cut down cardstock and I wrote, sorry again, I wrote the, okay, all flosses that start with 100, 300, 400, and so on, so that I have them separated numerically in here. And again, I have a place marker. When I pull a color out, I just stick this in, standing straight up, so that I know where to put it back quickly. And this just sits on my table beside my stitching area, and it's easy to get to. When I'm not using it, when I'm not stitching on that, I just put the lid on and store it away. Okay, option number 3 for pieces that aren't huge, like those 2 projects. Well, this is a huge project, but it requires less floss, okay? I go with this option. I just have this little antique tray. I have these are all either Weeks Dye Works or Gentle Arts, and I have them in snack bags because that's what fits in my tray. And I write the color and I draw the symbol and I have that in. And let me see if I can show you. Okay, so here's an example. Country Redwood. Okay, so my floss that has never been used is up here. My pieces that I'm working with at the moment are back here, along with a threaded needle. And I also write just an abbreviated, the needle in here is a Mary Arden 26 Petite. And then I just, because these are alphabetized, I can quickly flip through here and see where it belongs. And then also in my tray, I keep my Ort box, my thread conditioner, my scissors, and my marking pencils. Speaking of, I don't know if anyone else is like this, and this is something that I need to work on and get over. When I'm marking my patterns, I become Picasso. And this is a time waster to me, but I can't seem to stop myself. I will show you just a small portion. I feel like I have to color in every single little spot on that pattern before I can move on. Like I said, I think I'm Picasso or something. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, stop, just stop. And I can't seem to make myself stop. Oh, by the way, this this setup is for my project that I started on October 1st with a group on Instagram that's doing a sale for His Eyes on the Sparrow. And I'm not going to show you my progress on that first because I just started it on October 1st. But I will say I am loving every moment, every stitch on this design. And if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen some sneak peeks into my progress. But it's a joy to stitch. And I think that I will be not able to put this down ever until it's finished. Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm all over the place today, and I do apologize. It's one of those days. I think that was all of my whips. So what's left? I have haul. Just a tiny haul. I needed some fibers for a project that I'm going to be working on. And here's a little secret. And I hesitate to tell you guys about this website, but I will. I don't think that I've ever heard anyone else mention this particular website. I've known about it for quite a while. Even though I've known about it, I think that I placed an order a few years back, but I hadn't shopped at it recently. I've looked at it, but I hadn't purchased anything recently. And I'm on the email list, and I got an email saying that their Weeks Dye Works was on sale. The more you buy, the more you save. And so I went on to look, and then I found, you can't just buy floss. But these are my weeks that I purchased on that order. And now as I sit here, I can't remember what pattern those are for, but I will remember eventually. But I also found some charts that I couldn't live without. Cobweb Corner offers a lot of current charts. They're used. Most of them are used. There are some new. The fibers are new. But the charts, she has some hard to find charts, maybe some out of print charts, at some really good prices, I think. And if you spend $35, I think it is, it's free shipping. And like I said, right now, the sale on the weeks, the more you buy, the less it is per skein. So the charts that I found, that I was so excited to find, the first one is by Cedar Hill, and it's called Shaker Village. And I have a couple other Cedar Hill shaker designs, and I thought that this would complement those. The first ones that I purchased and stitched was when I lived in New England, and we would often take trips to, the name of it escapes me at the moment. It's a Shaker Village. It's really cool. You go and it's like authentic setup of the Shaker Village there, and I just love anything Shaker. So that's the first one. The second one is by Homespun Elegance, which is stitched too, and I just thought this was too cute to pass up. And that will be a project for next Halloween. And the final one is by Homespun Elegance again, and I don't know that I'd ever seen this one before, and it's from, let's see if I can find a date on it, 1984. It is called Reproduction Sampler Number 1, Unfinished. And let me, the back photo is actually a little bit better photo, but I was just drawn to this. So let me read you a little bit about the history, and it says, "We really know nothing at all about the origin or the age of the sampler. We can only speculate because of certain characteristics. We are led to believe that it may have been Pennsylvania German origins because of some of the designs. For instance, the hearts that are stitched in several places, and the 3 flower designs, 2 in the lower right corner on the bottom row, and again on the upper right edge, 3 motifs from the top. This sampler appears to be a marking sampler. The person who stitched this piece would probably have referred to it over and over again to personalize her family's textiles, household, and personal linens. She would add new designs to her sampler as she found them or had time to stitch them. The original is in excellent condition, leading us to believe that it was stored away and not displayed." So I was just drawn to it because I thought, I don't know, I could just visualize this young girl sitting there, pulling it out, stitching on it, and then using these motifs to mark her family's clothing. And I just thought that was neat because, you know, they didn't have Sharpie markers back then to mark their children's clothing and whatnot. But a very cool one, and I look forward to stitching that. So that is my haul for the month. I have, like I said, I have a few things on order to complete my mittens. Mostly some Mill Hill treasures that will go on at the end. What will I be doing for the rest of the month is working on my heartstring samplery. His Eyes on the Sparrow, like I said, I'm enjoying every moment of that. I'm going to work on Thomas and try to get him finished for Thanksgiving. And I will be working on, what did I do with it? My ornaments. I think I will probably put away everything else and not try to work on those because I especially want to do the ornaments and Thomas, and then when I have extra time, work on His Eyes on the Sparrow. But my focus pieces are going to be the ornaments and Thomas. And I think that's it. So for today, I have laundry. I have need to put a pot of soup on because yay, it's finally fall here. I love it. So it's a soup kind of day, and I'm going to catch up on answering all of my comments on my channel. And then tonight I'm probably going to sit down and stitch and watch some Luke Cage. So until next time, I hope you all have a happy stitchy month, what's left of it, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.